Hi, and a warm welcome back to this, the latest episode of Lisburn Distillery TV. Coming up in today's show, we have exclusive highlights from Lisburn Distillery's Premier Intermediate League game against Newington, which was played here at New Grosvenor last week. We hear from the Dunville Whisky Distillery Player of the Month for August 2018. And finally this week we'll have the latest in club news from around Lisburn Distillery Football Club. So I'm joined in the studio today by the returning Lydia Campbell. Lydia, great to have you back on board.
Yeah, it's good to be back when I'm home. You know, I might as well use my time. Something a bit more interesting. So yeah.
You're working away with the BBC in Manchester, don't you? How's that all been going for you?
Yeah, it's been good. It's good fun. I mean, it's hard work, but working in a TV newsroom is quite exciting. Changes every day. And it's very challenging, which I like a lot. I like a bit of a challenge. So yeah,
I must say, I'm delighted to, obviously you started off here in LDTV and look we are now, so we take a lot of pride in that. So we'll follow your career path with excitement.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know.
And you're still keeping an eye on Distillery's results?
Oh, absolutely, every week. That's between them and Fulham, obviously, are my top two on my list on Twitter. So
the last time you were in Fulham were Championship side.
Yeah, they were, but not anymore. We're at the dizzying heights of the Premier League, so it's all good. It's all
hopefully
good.
Do okay, not as well as Chelsea, but hopefully you do alright. Anyhow, time now to look back at the highlights from last Saturday. Lisburn Distillery were at home in this match against Newington, games which have always been very, very tricky between the two sides, but the Whites went into the game knowing they had to get points on the board following the opening day defeat against Bamfordstown. Here's the highlights from that one. So Lydia, not the result we wanted. I suppose there was a point on the board, but really we probably could have done with all three.
Yeah, you know, when you start the season off with a loss, I know Banbridge are going to be a very strong side in this league. They always have been, but our first game at home, especially when we went 1-0 up, you know, it's very important that you push on from that.
Yeah.
I'd imagine the boys will be disappointed about that. No, at the same time, you know, as you say, it's a point on the board. We're now officially off the mark.
Yeah.
So it's just about building from there.
Game started well enough with a penalty quite early on in the game. I think there wasn't any question about it being a penalty.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, it was a clear trip. It was just lovely footwork, and the defender was done really. And yeah, there's no doubt about that. And Al McMurtry, we know what he can do from the spot. So
as he does,
so yeah, it was just a shame we didn't necessarily build from that.
Yeah, Newington had a few chances over the game, so to a certain extent we maybe rode our luck at times as well. But towards the end of the game, there was a goal disallowed for offside. There was a bit of controversy around that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be one of those ones that you don't want to look back at the end of the season and think, oh, what if? I don't think it's going to come to that, but it's frustrating when something is so tight. It's so tight, and you know, we have the benefit of having a look at the video, and even we are confused and not sure. It looked to me, at the reaction of the defender, sort of head and hands, looked to me like he headed it on.
Yeah.
And quite often you need to read the player's response to situations like that. But I mean, the referee saw it a different way, and we have to accept it. Yeah, have to accept that.
Oh well, it's a point on the board, Anna. Okay, time now to look at the rest of the results from around the Bluefin Sports Premier Intermediate League.
Saturday's results saw wins for Queen's University, Portstewart and Lurgan Celtic, while Annie United had a superb 3-2 win over Banbridge Town, and in the day's other match, Dollingstown drew 2-2 with Tobermoor United. And looking now at the league standings, we can see that there are 3 teams with 100% records: Portstewart, Queen's and Annie United, while Lisburn Distillery are currently sitting in 9th place in the table, and Armagh and Moyola are still waiting on their first points of the season.
Next up on the show, it's time to hear from the winner of the first ever Dunville's Whisky Distillery Player of the Month, which for August 2018 was Matthew Ferguson. Fully justified, Lydia?
Oh yeah, I mean it is. I mean he won quite a few of these awards last year, and there was a reason for it. And he started this season the same way. 6 goals in 5 games. 6 in 5 games. Yeah, very impressive. You know, last year he finished as top goal scorer. Sometimes with strikers there can be that worry that they do that for a season and then it tails off. Doesn't look like that way at all for Matthew, and I think the club are really glad to have him leading the line again for them this season. If
I think he could be even better this season based on what he's done so far.
Yeah, it could be. No, we don't want to put any more pressure on him. But the good thing about Matthew is that, you know, he's a big lad up there, but his feet work and his ability with the ball at his feet is impressive. He can score tap-ins and he can score absolute worldies, as we've seen, and that's the kind of guy you need up there.
In the front line. Excellent. Okay, well, after the game on Saturday, David Hunter spoke to Matthew to hear his thoughts on winning the first award for the season, and here's what Matthew had to say.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the first of the monthly awards in the 2018-2019 season. I'm delighted to say that Ecklenville Distillery have once again continued their back of shirt sponsorship and also sponsorship for this very popular award. However, and there is a however, this season the award is known as the Dunville's Whisky Player of the Month Award, and for those of us who know the history of this football club, it's a miracle that the Dunville's name is associated once more with Distillery Football Club. The club was founded in 1880 from employees who worked at Dunville's Distillery on the Grosvenor Road, and all looked lost until a number of years ago when Shane Braniff acquired the brand and has not only started distilling again, he has gone from strength to strength with Dunville's whisky winning many awards and back to its iconic best. And talking about iconic best, well, I've got beside me here young Matthew Ferguson. Matthew you will remember from last year. Matthew, you won the first Player of the Month award last year. You've done it again this year. I would have to say maybe it's not a surprise for you. You did well in August.
Well, I did. I done very well in August. I think I beat my record that I did last year. I had 6-4 games, where last year I had 5-5 games, so I was very happy with that there. Every season I come into it, try to hit the ground running, to be fair, there was plenty of other great players in the month of August, but I'm glad that I picked up the award.
Yes, there were some great performances. There were a lot of goals, and certainly up front where you're playing just behind the strikers, there was a lot of goals scored. I'm going to ask you a question. You scored 6 in the month. What was your favourite?
Oh, to be fair, I'm not too sure. They're all pretty good as long as I hit the back of the net. That's all I'm worried about. But again, I have to say, probably my first goal of the season, first touch of the season, overhead kick in the top corner against probably our closest rivals, Queen. So I was pleased with that one.
Okay. As I say, you got off to a great start. No goals today, Matthew, but the Whites have now got their first point on the board following today's draw against Newington. Tough match.
Well, it's a very tough match. We know what way Newington work, and they always put it up against us. Before we had to try and adapt to that style of play, and before I thought we were far from our best today. I thought defensively we could have been a wee bit better, especially with their goal. Plus going forward, I didn't think we created as much as we normally do. But again, we'll look at it the following Saturday away to Armagh, and hopefully make things better and get 3 points on the board.
Question to finish with. When we sat together last year at this time, we talked about targets. You came up with a number. Have you set yourself a target for the season ahead?
Oh yes, I always set a target for myself. Last year I got 23 goals. Of course I would like to better that this year. I've got a target in my head, but I'll keep up with myself until I achieve it, and then once I achieve it, then I'll come out and speak about it.
The rumours that you've beaten it aren't true then?
Well, not just yet, but we'll get there.
Okay, Matthew, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back in a month's time for the Dunville's Whisky Player of the Month Award for September. Our thanks again to Shane Braniff and his team down at the Dunville Distillery, and keep watching Lisburn Distillery TV.
So now it's time to wrap up some news from around Lisburn Distillery Football Club.
Transfer deadline day saw the arrival of 2 new signings at Lisburn Distillery. First up saw the club bringing in versatile defender Conor Curran, who has joined the club from Glenavon, and then later on, as the deadline loomed, we were able to add Linfield midfielder Lewis Harrison to our squad. We welcome both players to Lisburn Distillery. Despite a well-taken goal from Francis Dugan, Lisburn Distillery have been knocked out of this season's Bet McLean League Cup after losing 5-1 to Premiership side Cliftonville last Tuesday night. The next big event in the distillery calendar is our annual Golf Day, which takes place on Sunday the 30th of September at Ballyclare Golf Club. Hole sponsorship is available for this and costs £50 per hole for individuals and £200 for corporate, with that option including a free 4-ball and meals for the sponsor. And if you fancy yourself a bit of a golfer, the cost to play in the prize event is £40 per person, which once again includes a post-round meal. You can also attend just the meal for a cost of £15. Further detail on all of this can be found on the club website.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of Lisburn Distillery TV. And with the Whites having this weekend off because of the international break, there will be no show next week, but we'll return again once again in a fortnight's time. Lydia, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back in the studio again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here.
Don't be a stranger if you've seen me
I'll
before.
try not to.
Okay, as ever, thank you so much to everybody who's watched today's show and for your ongoing support for Lisburn Distillery. Until the next time, bye for now. But don't forget, come on you Whites!